The budget passed. Canada is cooked. We just approved a $78 billion deficit this year alone, and $500 billion more over the next 5 years. If you thought things were bad now, oh, you wait. But maybe that's the point. Maybe Canada needs to feel maximum pain in order to vote for change. Because if we had a Christmas election, the Liberals would have blamed the Conservatives, and there was a massive chance they would have won a majority. They only need 2 more seats. And Canada would be finished as we know it, because if they got a majority, Bill C-2, Bill C-8, and Bill C-9 would be approved immediately, and free speech in this country would be gone. The Conservatives were not willing to take that chance, and the NDP is broke, and they really haven't defined themselves since Jagmeet Singh collapsed the party to non-party status. They don't want an election. So in order for all the parties to save themselves, they were willing to put up with the most catastrophic and disastrous budget in Canadian history. Well, that is politics, isn't it? In today's report, I'm going to cover the budget day drama, and Mark Carney got booed out of Winnipeg at the Grey Cup. Whoever did his PR campaign is going to get fired. Let's get into this report. Canada is home to 2 of the best meme accounts in the country. Canada Roast and National Roast came together and provided us this graphic. The budget that Canada needed. The budget that Canada got. I have to say they nailed it on this one. Before I take you to the House of Commons budget drama, how is this legal in Canada? So I don't know about you, but how is it legal to take down a Canada flag and put another country's flag in replacement? What country do we live in? This is what a liberal Canada looks like. At this flag raising ceremony, there was people there like Rebel News and some guy with the Holy Cross. And I'll tell you, Jesus has spoken. Jesus has spoken. Oh yeah. Check this out.
You didn't even show just like that. Jesus is king. Jesus is king. Not Muhammad. Not Muhammad.
Israel kills.
Jesus has spoken. The Holy Cross has just smacked the police officer and has blessed her. Let's check that out again. Oh, there it is. We gotta go back and check that out.
Israel kills.
I don't do it. I'm sorry.
Imagine the police officers went to the raising of the flag ceremony and then got baptized by a holy cross. The guy upstairs has spoken. We got to check out some of these comments because they're pretty good as well. Diane says, the Lord works in mysterious ways and Seinfeld European carry all. Yep, that's a good one. Marco says, I really need to start going to church after seeing this one. Otherwise, a cross might slap you right in the head. 306 Bench says, what happened? I got hit by a 12-foot wooden cross. Imagine that police officer going home and say, I have a headache to her husband and say, why? Well, I got hit by a holy cross today. That would be a tough one to explain, wouldn't it? SK Can 1 says, Jesus has had it. He's trying to bonk some sense into them. Remember the police officer that forgot to put the car in reverse and went forwards and ran everybody over after? I mean, it's like the wokest DEI police force, Toronto police force. It is some scary stuff. An exit letter says, no one was hurt except for the narrative. And even Jesus is laughing. And Carney says, the RCMP officer, well, was a police officer, and God has made it clear how he feels about the raising of the Palestinian flag. Before we get into the budget vote, I want people to understand what they just voted on. The budget is so catastrophic, you gotta hear this.
Buy beer, you buy a new car. 62.7 billion is going to be collected in GST. But the interest in 2029, 2030 at the end of this budget program, our projection is going to be $76.1 billion. GST would have to increase by 20% just to pay the interest, not to pay for any health care, not to pay for border security, not to pay for RCMP, or for defense, just to cover the interest on the Liberal debt. In 2029, 2030, 13%, almost $1 out of every $7 collected by this government that taxpayers are paying, not just GST, but income tax, corporate tax, $1 out of every $7 collected is going to go just for interest.
Can you believe it? For every $7, $1 is just going to be serving interest debt payments. That means our hospitals are not getting that. Their daycares, the food lunch program, everything in Canada is not getting paid for with that $1 that's gone. That is a significant amount of money. And that's what you call sacrifice. Our youth are going to have to sacrifice harder. Let's take a look at the heated exchange between Pierre Poilievre and Mark Carney before the budget vote in the House of Commons.
Costly deficit gambles our future on the national credit card, and it drives up food, housing, and tax bills. In fact, the Parliamentary Budget Officer has revealed in his recent report the Prime Minister has doubled Justin Trudeau's deficit. He's brought in the biggest deficit in Canadian history outside of the pandemic, $16 billion bigger than he promised only 7 months ago. Why is it the Prime Minister breaking his word and forcing Canadians to pay higher inflation today and higher taxes tomorrow for his costly credit card budget?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, today is a good day. Inflation is down 2.2%. It's for almost 2 years. It's running within the Bank of Canada's target. Mr. Speaker, today this is a good month. Unemployment is down again. Jobs are up again. Mr. Speaker, today is a historic day. The Leader of the Opposition and his colleagues have an opportunity to vote for generational investment to build this economy.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Maybe it's a good day for him and his Brookfield buddies who are dodging their tax bills. For the Canadian people stuck paying record high grocery bills. In fact, the Prime Minister said he'd be judged by prices at the grocery store. Today, Statistics Canada revealed that grocery price inflation is almost double the Bank of Canada's target, rising 40% faster in Canada than in the United States of America. The direct result of the Liberal industrial carbon tax on farmers, the food packaging tax, the fuel standard tax. The Prime Minister puts his budget on the national credit card. Does he expect Canadians to pay their groceries the same way?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the rate of inflation is down. Mr. Speaker, job creation is up. Mr. Speaker, ambition and confidence in this country is sky high. We believe in Canada. We are investing in Canada. Today is the opportunity for every member of this House to join us.
The Honourable.
Faith in this government is not sky high. It's at record low right now. Let's take a look at some of these inflation figures. First, I want to show you this graphic. Food inflation is the light blue, and it was all the way down to 1.2, and today it is 3.4. Check it out. It continues to go up. It's down only for the month of October, so the Liberals are cheering, but the trend is not our friend here. It's up 200% in 20 months. And Richard Diaz on X provided this chart. Canada's inflation rate is the one that jumped up, and we all know it got out of control, and now it's back down to 2.2 for this month. But I want you to pay attention to this line. This line is the index price level. And as you can see, even when inflation comes down, the prices that started here are now way over there. That's like nearly a 30% increase in the cost of everything in this country in just 10 years. That is why everybody in this country feels like they are broke. There's nothing to celebrate about this. And the food professor on X also provided us this chart. Check out what happened during the GST tax holiday. I call it the junk food tax holiday. Food prices actually came down in Canada. But as soon as they removed it, it went right back where it was before, and it continues to go up. So Mark Carney, if he's judged on the price of food, he gets an F. Here's a list of price inflation for the last 12 months. Coffee's up 26.3%. I love coffee, so this is devastating. Beef's up 16.8%. Rent is still going up 5.2%. New cars, 4.5%. And yeah, groceries is up 3.4%. How do you know Canada's in big trouble? This data set's gonna blow your mind. 28% of Canadians were not aware that the government tabled a budget. Can you believe it? But there's an easy explanation for this. When you're working 3 jobs and skipping meals and dumpster diving for your groceries, you are not paying attention to the Ottawa Clown Show. Elizabeth May voted yes for this catastrophic budget. Check out her explanation. But before we take a look at the video, check out her pin. She doesn't work for Canada. She works for the WEF.
But then you know they could be voting on their apps somewhere else. I couldn't vote for that budget as I read it. I made it clear why I found it so very deficient. And one of the reasons was the Paris Agreement, and our commitment to it wasn't even mentioned. Our commitments to climate adaptation weren't mentioned, and I felt it weakened where we were on the nature agenda and the Kunming-Montreal Agreement that wasn't mentioned. So, as you could tell, and as I've said I heard a firm commitment to something I hadn't heard before from Mark Carney, Prime Minister, that I'd heard previously from Mark Carney, former Governor of the Bank of Canada, former Governor of the Bank of England, former Special Envoy for Climate Finance to the Secretary General of the United Nations. I heard a firm commitment we will meet our Paris targets. That requires action very soon because the first target we're going to hit is 2030 and then 2035. Legally binding treaty commitments and a commitment to do far more that we've heard in the budget with funding for the Kunming-Montreal commitments to nature, to stop beating up on Mother Earth and start the process of CPR. So, against what I had expected to say to you today, I'm going to vote yes. For the country.
If we actually go through with this thing to go all the way to the Paris Accord by 2035, we're all going to be foraging for food in the forest, burning wood for heat, and the country is going to be polluting more than ever before because we will be in financial ruins. The more poor that your country is, the more pollution it creates. It's that simple. It's only the super rich that have the money to think about the climate. But if you're looking at a frog on the ground and it's looking rather tasty, do you really think you care about the planet? So in a nutshell, Elizabeth May listened to the voices in her head. We're going to take a look at what happened during this budget vote. Then don't miss, because after we review this, we're going to take a look at Mark Carney getting booed at the Grey Cup, and he left immediately. He didn't even watch the game because he was so embarrassed. You're not going to want to miss that.
170, 170. Nays con, 168, 163.
A Liberal minority government on the razor's edge of a majority, 170 seats to the opposition's combined 173, survives this budget confidence test with a tight vote result.
This is not about us. This is about Canadians. And the vast, vast, vast majority of Canadians want us to try to make this parliament work. They do not want an election.
2 of 7 NDP MPs abstained from voting, Gord Johns and Laurie Idloot. So did 2 Conservatives, Shannon Stubbs, whose office said she was on approved medical leave, and Matt Genereux, who announced his resignation after floor-crossing rumors.
Mr. Speaker, I was unable to use my app. I would like to vote no.
2 more Conservative MPs initially appeared to have abstained, citing technical difficulties, including House Leader Andrew Scheer.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I had technical difficulty. I would like to vote no.
They were both in the House as well. So one could possibly surmise that maybe they were waiting to see which way the vote was going to go themselves before they decided if they were going to abstain or if they were going to vote against it.
The only opposition member to vote with the government?
Can he confirm here on the floor of this House that in passing this budget, the government is committed to holding to as far below 2 degrees as possible?
Green Party leader Elizabeth May, who said this exchange in question period.
I can confirm to this House that we will respect our Paris commitments for climate change, and we're determined to achieve them.
Was enough to win her support for this one vote. It all boils down to the minority Liberal government surviving for now, avoiding a Christmas election. Omar?
All right, Abigail, thank you. And joining us now is CTV's chief political correspondent, Vashi Capello. So, Vashi, ultimately, the outcome the Liberals and the Prime Minister, Mark Carney, wanted. But talk to us a little bit about the tactical play for the NDP.
They wanted a Christmas election so they could get their majority government. And that is why the NDP and the Conservatives said no to it. And I have proof, but I'm going to show it to you right after Vashi.
Tonight.
Well, Omar, the primary tactic for the NDP here is simply to avoid an election. And I think Canadians are well aware of the situation the NDP finds itself in, both from a fundraising perspective and just sheer party status, the loss of it. So it makes sense from a political perspective that they would try to have it both ways, to essentially stave off that election, but be able to say to Canadians, hey, 5 of us voted against it, so we aren't happy with this budget. We're not the same as the NDP in the last election, which was so closely aligned on a number of fronts with the Liberal Party at the time. I think they will have a difficult time landing that message, though, because ultimately it will look like they helped the government survive another day. So they're going to face some challenges there. I also think at the same time the Conservatives will face challenges and a number of questions on why one of their MPs, Matt Genereux, who a few weeks ago was widely speculated could be crossing the floor, decided to abstain. It's not nothing, and they will face questions over that.
Because they didn't want a Christmas election. It's that simple. And since he's leaving, they chose him to just abstain. There's nothing more into it, but I'm sure CBC and CTV are going to spin it as hard as they can. How do we know that the Liberals wanted this budget to fail and have a Christmas election? Philippe Champagne in this interview spells it out for all of Canadians. And you want to hear something that's absolutely insane? I published this video on my X account and it has been taken down. This is the first time I've ever seen a video taken down. It's not available on the internet. I'm going to show it, but I saved this video into a folder. So I have it. So I have the video and I'm sharing it with all of you. But on the internet, it's been scrubbed. Look, here's my proof. And look, I click refresh. You can see it momentarily. They scrubbed it from the internet. I'm not joking you. This interview was held immediately after the budget passed. Check out Philippe Champagne.
Listen, what matters today is that,
people decided to, parliamentarians started voting in favor. They decided to put Canada first. And that's really what matters today. You know, people in their constituency and people are looking. There's enough uncertainty in the world. We need to come together to support Canadians, and that's why those who voted in favor, I think, have shown that they are really committed to Canada. And so yes, we keep on working. Every day is a good day to fight for Canada.
Squeaky has completely lost his squeak. Does this look like a man that's excited that the budget has passed? I think he wanted that super majority government. The truth is out. Now we're going to go to the Grey Cup. I'm glad you made it this far in the video because you don't want to miss this one. You are not going to believe this. The number one trending item was Prime Minister Mark Carney was booed at the 112th Grey Cup in Winnipeg. The second most trending item was the actual winner of the Grey Cup. That means Mark Carney's boo is more popular than the actual winner of the Grey Cup. That's how insane this is. But first, the Montreal Alouette won the Grey Cup, and they were presented the Grey Cup by Canada's very own RCMP, the best out of the best. We have the best RCMP. Don't mess with us. Oh, if you mess with us, we're going to send this RCMP officer to you. And oh yeah, that other one, he's going to come for you as well. This has to be a joke, but it's no joke. Literally, the Grey Cup was handed by the RCMP, these two. We got to check out a couple of these comments. They're so good. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. And that face says it all. Mark Carney got booed 3 times, but the coin toss was probably the loudest. Or was it the Oh Canada? I can't decide, but they were just brutal.
Is to Canada, Mark Carney, and the CEO of Coinbase Canada, Lucas Matheson.
The Coinbase logo will be heads, and the Maple Leafs will be tails. Saskatchewan, you're the visiting team. Your choice. Tails. Tails? Mr. Prime Minister, would you do us the honor? Tails has been called. This is a tails. Saskatchewan has won the toss.
Or here's Mark Carney in the Oh Canada when the camera went to him. Listen to the crowd.
Oh.
You can't hear it that loud, but I'm sure if I was there, it would be deafening loud. Then Mark Carney was greeted by a fan.
Carney! Carney! Hey, you fucking call me, hey?
Mark Carney took it on that one, right in the chin. Then the internet absolutely exploded. This picture circulated and millions of Canadians saw this exact photo. Then somebody zoomed right in and look at Mark Carney's face. He's laughing at himself. So the national roast on X has made it the Grey Cup of 2025, Canada's Heritage Minutes. The Carney salute, a part of our history. It's etched in stone. Immediately after Mark Carney got fingered, he rushed to the airport, and the real Mr. Bench on X posted his Mark Carney's plane. He immediately got onto his plane, and Mark Carney was out of there. He didn't even watch the Grey Cup. All he did was flip a coin. And Canada Rose posted this morning. It's so good. Oh, man. I love these meme accounts. Canada Roast, you're just crushing it. And you're not going to believe what mainstream media did immediately after Mark Carney got booed. They did a mass release. CBC, Global, every single news outlet came out with the exact same article. And it says Prime Minister Mark Carney was met with cheers and boos at the 112th Grey Cup. People that were there said there was absolutely zero cheers and it was 100% boos. So what I did is I went to all of the publications and I posted this picture in the comment section to troll them. And it worked out absolutely perfectly. There is like tens of thousands of views of this picture wherever they posted that cheers post. And Jasmine Lane messaged her friend that was at the Grey Cup, and here's her text message. Did Carney get booed multiple times? He did. Laugh out loud. Like bad? Yeah, it was pretty bad. He walked right in front of us and he got booed by everybody. And he did the coin toss and it was deafening boos. Laugh out loud. Then the media asked Mark Carney about all the booing at the Grey Cup.
Grey Cup, you were booed. What does that show you about rust and disaffection?
Look, we've got, we meet with everybody. We represent the entire country. We were cheered as well as the other. And we have representation across the country. I'll say one other thing, which is that in a few hours, I'll have a virtual meeting with the First Ministers of the provinces and territories. And, we're all looking to work together. I met a few of the premiers when I was in Winnipeg, working together for the country, whoever people voted for. Thanks very much.
Yeah, he could care less for Canadians. That's why he's smirking and smiling. Once he rams this generational budget, we're all going to have to pay for it for the rest of our lives. And he's going to go off in the sunset with his Brookfield shares. That's it for today's report. Man, we're cooked. This budget is ginormous. $78 billion this year, and every year after that, there's no end in sight. The parliamentary budget officer says the precipice, the books are cooked, and we're still approving this budget. That is how crazy politics are in Canada right now. What do you think about the Holy Cross blessing the police officer? And what do you think about all the booze? I'll see you on the next report.